What we're going to proceed with. Listen to this very briefly. The city of Ashgabat, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. That's Achan, formerly one of Germany's perimeter cities, rubble by Allied forces during World War II. Our unit, the U.S. Army 303rd Medium Maintenance Company, happened to be passing through the city in 1945. The war was still underway, and as expected, the atmosphere was very hostile. Looking for a place of comparative safety to bunk down, we located two adjoining rooms in what had previously been an apartment complex. The only object of interest in these rooms was a grandfather clock, which was not running. Unable to resist the challenge, this time we managed to make the clock operative. As the rooms were small, we decided that 6 GIs sleep in each room. Sleep we did until the clock struck 2 a.m. Now, I don't know what woke me, perhaps that clock. Within seconds, the wailing began, the most unearthly sound that I've ever heard. The wailing continued for approximately 8 to 10 minutes and then abruptly stopped. Silence prevailed, except the ticking of the clock. I positioned my rifle barrel in the direction of the door and held that position, anticipating the arrival of the sergeant of the guard, who was scheduled to wake up the relief guard at 4 a.m. Upon opening of the door and directing his flashlight into the room, he was greeted by 6 gun barrels pointing in his direction. He checked the second room and found the same condition existed. All the occupants were awake and heard the wailing. Neither the guard on duty nor anyone outside those 2 rooms heard the wailing. It was never determined what the source of the wailing was, but it was determined prudent to sleep elsewhere, all the way from World War II. We'll be right back. All right, here we go. We continue now with Coast to Coast AM, West of the Rockies. You are on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Steve in San Francisco.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, I got a little story. I bought this right now. It's kind of run down. I actually was going by an old man, and never used to see him. Everything used to be closed up. And my wife only liked the house. So,
Is this in San Francisco?
it's outside. And so anyway, we saw somebody going up, or she did, going up to the house. And they, was dressed in a suit, looked like a real estate agent. So she had him, and so she had the guy come and call the house. We ended up making an offer about the house. And it had old wiring in it, and it wasn't any light. It was really kind of a dark house anyway. And we used to feel like somebody was, following us. And you turn around and you get like a glimpse of something, moving real quick away, but you never really saw it. So,
Corner of the eye, kind of?
Yeah, kind of the corner of the eye, kind of a shadow that would just kind of disappear.
Something you couldn't quite lay your eyes on, but was at the peripheral vision.
Right, and then we came to move faster. And so we kept noticing, the wife would set her necklace down, and then she'd come in and go, well, where's my necklace? And I would look around, so we kind of look everywhere. And then maybe 2 days later, she'd be laying right on the dresser where she left it. So we looked there, and it wasn't there.
Nobody in the house but yourself and your wife?
Well, we had kids, but, we'd ask them, and they didn't know. Most likely they weren't touching it. So we'd check another room, and there was nothing ever there.
So it would disappear and reappear.
and reappear. So I did some research on it, and the guy that built the house died of a brain hemorrhage about 3 years after he purchased the property. And from what the neighbors said, he was building it himself, and it was never very completed. So they never lived in there.
Well, here we go again. All
And
right.
then it was purchased from that family by a madam. Who,
A madam?
yeah, she used it for her own house to entertain the sheriff and the mayor and that kind of people.
Old sentences.
And yeah, and you know,
Not much has changed.
and it was up on the hill so she could see the ships come in, and that way she would know when it was time to go back to the home and make sure the girls were up and ready.
I understand. Here come the sailors.
Yeah, so you know, it had kind of an interesting history, and then actually we bought it from kind of an adopted child of hers. So we never did really get the story. It seemed like there was something strange that went on in that family, and I figured the guy we bought it from was probably one of her pregnancies that she just adopted. But anyway, we're going along, and you know, the ghosts never seem to bother anybody. Things would disappear, but they always reappear, and you know, it never, you know, really affected.
By the way, that activity would be described more along the poltergeist lines so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, nothing. I mean, once in a while you hear some kind of drop or whatever, or you know, but nothing. I mean, it was something. And we had little kids.
Yes.
You know, we didn't get too worried. Anyway, it was one day and we were sitting around in the front room, and I was sitting in a chair by the door, and there were 3 or 4 of my friends, and we were having a few beers, and we just sit back and talk. It was a nice day, and we had a cat that was given to us by a friend of my wife who got married, and her husband was allergic to cats, so they had to get rid of it. So we adopted this cat, and it was a very unusual cat, kind of quiet, not wild like yours, but you know, it was an interesting cat, had a personality. And anyway, we were sitting there, and the cat came running up close to where I was sitting, and sat down and looked up over my right shoulder, like it was looking at something. No, it wasn't looking at me anyway. The front door opened.
Right, so.
Right, so the cat ran out, and the door shut.
Okay.
And I was just by the door. There was no breeze, no wind, nothing. I looked around, and everybody was just like this process. And they were all just, their mouths were kind of dropped, hanging down. And, you know, I didn't talk about 5 seconds went by before I did anybody see what I just saw? And they said, yeah, you know. And they go, well, that's the wind or something. I go, I'm sitting right here. And anyway, the door was flat.
Well, obviously the cat saw whatever.
Yeah, anyway, I got the fluid still over my body, so, you know, to get that speaking.
No, that'll do. One per customer, that's a beauty.
Can I tell you something about your UFO observation?
Well, very good. No, actually not tonight. This is Ghost to Ghost. Thank you very much. That was a really good story. There's a lot of animal stories. As I said, the webcam photo I've got up there right now. It's hard to explain to you. We have a wild cat, a feral cat. Inside this cat is nothing but Mr. Sweetness, but that's several layers down. The wildness in this cat is now there and will always be there. And if you look at the photograph I took just before airtime tonight on the webcam, look at those eyes. There's no mistaking the wildness. A cat that lets me hold it in its arms, but there's no mistaking the wildness. Good look at those eyes. On the international line, you are on the air. Hello.
Good evening, Art.
Good evening. Where are you?
This is Gene. I'm in Auckland, Victoria, British Columbia.
Welcome to the Trish program.
Thank you very much. There's a house in town, Art, here in Victoria that my parents bought back in about 1941.
Yes.
And that house has two ghosts in it. One is my brother, and the other is my mother.
You know who they are.
I know who they are.
How do you know who they are? Do you actually see
I'm
them?
absolutely positive and without doubt. In 1957, my brother Jim was killed in an accident. He was only 23, and he had been in the army and a local police officer. And it was a very tragic thing, as you can well imagine. And as the years passed, he was sadly missed. And more years passed, and my mother became very, very ill. And in 1983, we lost her to cancer. So the house was sold. Well, the new owners, after about 6 months or a year, contacted us because there was some odd things happening. And we went over there, and it was a young couple, and the father and father-in-law was helping with the renovations. Because it was an old house, and did a lot of work.
How did they even find you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Probably through their realtor is the only thing I can think
I
of.
would imagine.
Anyway, my sister and I went over, and the gentleman's father was very upset, very, very agitated, and it was quite obvious that we weren't really welcome there. But the young couple took us down to the basement, and they had been seeing this image down there of a very tall young man with dark hair, but he had something shiny on his left breast, like a toothpick.
Oh my.
So, within the year, they sold the house. They got the hell out of it. They were very, very uncomfortable. So, about 2 years passed. The next new owners of the house got the job.
Really?
Yep. And this is a very young, very pleasant brother and sister.
Okay.
Now, these two were ready with the teapot and the cookies. They were very, very interested in the history of the house and, what different problems that we lived there. Well, no, we haven't. So again, we're down the basement, and they described the same image of a very tall young man, and my brother was 6'2.5", in dark clothing with the shiny on the left breast and the cap on. So we're going, uh-huh. But in their case, when they renovated the kitchen, it was like the old tea joint with the heavy molding on the floor.
Sure.
And behind the molding, she found an old photograph of my brother.
Oh, Lordy. In uniform. Let me guess.
Yeah,
In uniform.
you're right. And the other thing that was happening is they were sitting in the front room watching TV one night, and the rocking chair started to move. All by its lonesome.
The rocking chair.
The rocking chair. And in the rocking chair, they saw the vague image of a woman in her 60s with dark hair and a pretty house dress on. And you should know my mother was a gentle lady, and her family was her whole life. And she was sitting in the rocking chair with a cup of tea. Now I asked the young lady, I said, well, are you nervous? And she says, no, it's kind of like having my mom around. It's just kind of like having a guest, and it's very comfortable.
Well, I suppose every time that house is sold now, you're going to get a call.
Actually, this happened about the last time was about 15 years ago.
The disturbing thing about that to me, and it's the same thing that disturbed me in the first hour, is we all want to know what happens when we pass. And somehow the prospect of remaining in an area like that, in a house, as an almost non-existent being, is not exactly a pleasant prospect. If it's really the soul, the consciousness of the departed, I mean, I'm sure that's crossed your mind.
Well, I have two thoughts on that. See, number one, I think that for those on the other side, time is not linear as it is for us.
Yes.
And it could well be that they're in a trillion now.
Well, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. I really, really appreciate your call. Thank you. It's true. You've got to think about it a little bit. Certainly that caller could be correct. And it could be that something of the person's soul is let go, and something has moved on. That's a bit more of a comforting feeling. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hi. Hi, Bill.
Yeah, I live in what is, I guess you could call a haunted house.
You do now?
Yes, I've lived here. I live here by myself. I don't have any problems with the ghost that's here. But it was related to me by the previous owner's son that he had an encounter continuously with this spirit of young boy. He claims that he slept in the attic there. They had fixed it up as a room for him. And he would go to bed of a night. He had a little dog that under the bed. And he said this ghost of this young boy had to have to climb in his bed with him. And I asked him, I said, didn't it scare you? He said, no, it didn't bother me. He said it felt cold, but he said the dog would leave the bed.
Well, the dog was smarter than he was.
Yeah.
Something cold crawled in my bed. I'd be out of there. I'd be out of there in 2 seconds. The dog's smarter than he is.
Yeah, he said that the years went by, and that this ghost matured with him and grew up, from a young boy to a teenager as he did.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Somehow you don't think of spirits as aging.
Yeah.
In other words, they're usually fixed at some point, but maybe they do. I mean, what do we really know about the other side?
Yeah. I had one little experience myself, since it's such a short one. This is one of them apparitions. You don't have the red eyes. He didn't have red eyes, but
I don't like red eyes.
it was cold February morning. It was 3 a.m. in the morning, and it had just fresh fallen snow, no leaves on the tree. It was cold.
Yeah.
And I just happened to look up. I was behind my mother's house, and I had some cats that I had to feed at the chicken house. There's an old farm road that went back to the back of the farm. And I just happened to look up, and I saw this apparition flying through the air above the tree. It looked like a figure of a human being, but it was dark. It was intense. His face instead of going the way, it was flying, had these gigantic fat wings. I didn't say or anything. It didn't look down at me.
Good for you. Let it go on its way. The friendly skies or whatever. All right. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, you have a good day.
You take care. I've got a little story about a little boy here, too, that I want you to hear in a minute. This is Ghost to Ghost. Nothing but ghost stories all night long. I'm Art Bell. Stay right where you are. Multiply to the sun and the wind. July to the resting. And the caller on the toll-free international line, call your AT&T and have the dial 800-893-0909. Efficiency is hosted mostly without doubt from the welcome to Ghost. They have nothing but good stories all night long. In a long series of many years now, including these programs, I can tell you this: if you will listen through the night, by the time the night is over, you will have no doubt that the soul, the spirit of consciousness survives death. The question, I think, is in what manner? And the troubling stories for me, and I sympathize with that last caller very much, who was under the effect by his own family, that remained in the house. And I understand that the caller in his mind was able to rationalize that there may be not time on the other side as there is here, and therefore they may be in two places at one time. I think the brazen thing that we have to acknowledge is the possibility that we should take the reports at face value. And so certainly the possibility that these entities are in fact all it is, these people left in the state of consciousness, is in fact here on Earth, is in fact trapped in a physical place, and rather small one at that. You have to imagine that as one of the small possibilities. Listen to this. My best friend was around 12 years old, growing up in Finland, had a fight with his parents, stormed up to his room screaming, "I hate you," and slammed the door locked to appreciate it. And while he apologized, but he said it again and again, with his mom walking out of the room again and again, "I hate you, I hate you." She kept trying to talk to him, but he kept screaming, "I hate you," until he began to get hoarse. At some point, some entity began to appear in his room near him. He saw a red outline, but otherwise it was invisible. He felt it chill as it came near him, now making an impression on the bed, an actual physical impression at that point. He freaked out, screamed Jesus, and started apologizing profusely to his mother. Began screaming, "I'm sorry," hoarsely. The thing shot up straight through the ceiling. It's not that he thought that his mom said the thing to pursue back. He definitely realized the chanting of "I hate you" invited whatever it was. All right, strap in here. How about you? First time caller live, you're on here. Well, hi, Joe. What have you? Glad to have you. What?
Okay, well, first let me tell you that I'm usually a skeptic about everything. I've had things happen to me in my lifetime, but I've always been able to chalk it up to a logical explanation.
Sure, it's good to be a skeptic.
So, this thing happened to me back in 1999. I lived in Chicago. My mother and children. I was living in the apartment. At the time, I was living with furniture. And yard and a swing. To work early. That I knew I would like my children because they interrupt, you want to really pay attention. So I came early and I started checking the clock on the wall to make sure, what time they'd be coming home.
Sure.
So, that movie, I heard this big, crash, not like a big crash in my living room, but the door. So I turned around because the TV was in the corner. Okay, so I had my back basically the whole living room, right? So I turned around and I what fell down, but I didn't see anything. So I thought, okay, maybe it's the TV because I didn't have the furniture in the room. It's echo.
Sure.
Let's figure it out.
That's right.
So I turned back to the TV and then like maybe 3 minutes later, I heard this like against the wall, like something coming up against the wall.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm like, this is weird. So I looked down again, and I looked to my left, and there's my oval clock on the floor. Now, I had been checking this clock for the last 2 hours. Now, what you have to understand is my living room at the time was like 14 feet long. Hardwood floor. That clock was coming out to the left. Okay? I was going out behind me, okay? Now, we would make lots of sense, but maybe it fell off the wall and it fell off the other side of the wall.
Makes sense to me.
Because it's an oval clock.
Oh, I see.
Okay? So I looked for every logical.
Yeah, but you would have heard that 6 ways from Sunday.
I know, and it was usually glass face.
Yeah, there's no way you would have missed that. I mean, especially in a room like that, with the echoing. No way.
Exactly, that's what's freaking out. So then I'm sitting there thinking, okay, there's my clock on the floor. She's not home yet, and I'm not even done watching my movie. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And that's what made me think, what was going on behind my back? The picture thing, like floating behind you.
Well, I'd say you're lucky it didn't land on you.
Don't really, but at least, at least it would be more real to me, because I would love to see it float. But of all the incidents that ever happened to me, only one I could never explain.
Well, if you'd actually seen it, you might never have been the same.
Well, I'd have been thrilled because I like things like this, Yes, I do. I love listening to your show.
Well, then you're going to love this. Thank you. Listen to this. It's Animal News. Here we get some of these. This is from Diane in Wheeling, Illinois. Several times a year, I take my German Shepherd Heidi with me to visit my mother in northern Wisconsin. On one of those visits, my mother had just acquired a dog named Jace. A lovable and extremely gentle dog. Almost as large as Heidi, but had a very muscular build. He had very short white hair that sort of resembled a large boar. Jace loved Heidi immediately, but she did not return his admiration. He tried to be friendly, he always behaved like a gentleman. He was happy to just be allowed to sit next to her. Through the years and many visits, Heidi gradually became more friendly toward Jace, and it was obvious that he was thrilled. One night, in late summer, not too long after a visit, I got into bed to go to sleep. Heidi was already in her place, with her head on the pillow. I had just drifted into that sleep. Something was wrong. I sat up, I looked at the top of the wall, and I saw a huge white mist appear, and saw it was in the shape of Jace. He was coming through the wall, then floated down toward Heidi and me. Upon settling on the bed between us, he evaporated. Oh yes, the next morning, my mom called to tell me that Jace had died the night before at the exact time I saw him. He'd been attacked by a bear. He made it home just before he died. Well, but I'm lying, you're on the air, huh? Sure.
Now, this is Ian Grapevine, and we've talked before about clarity and things like that, as far as the supernatural and previous ghost stories.
Yes, you have one?
Actually, I do a story happened in Anchorage, Alaska. A friend of mine was working on the Alaska Railroad, and we had kind of, I used to talk to him to let him go on a little special trip once every 6 months. You got to do a little run around all the southeast of Anchorage. And it was actually a little rail that goes inside of a mountain. They actually have a base which really good for trees. Not that low anyway, but the base of the mountain, it takes the time to dig out the mountain, you got to do something with looking at.
You bet.
So finally after touch, we say, like, everybody was kind of like a transition between different. It was kind of like a trip, I'm sure that was about a 20-minute railway trip. It was your finished washdown. once we got in there, started the very inquisitive. And he just basically, look, here's a uniform. Don't talk to anybody. Just follow me. It was kind of interesting. There was only 3 buildings inside of it, including one went to the side. There was like a little lake inside. And actually, it was a very strange school scene. It was a 10,000.
Oh, that is weird.
It was something I'd never heard of. It was like a constant swirl effect. I remember where you went. It was like you were really down
It's on the mountain.
inside the mountain. And the train trip alone was amazing. Just going to it was like a 20-minute trip to go actually inside. And then once you got out, you got off the train. It was a military hospital. It looked like kind of an airbase building, like almost a military building.
Sure.
And the difference one late night, ironically, the only other building was alcohol one late night, the ship taking old boats, nothing like that. And he went to bed, and I was kind of listening to the rain howl, which never stopped with howling. It was kind of the parking lot. I should take my jacket and kind of parasail across the parking lot. I finally got across the parking lot, which was pretty dark. It was around 4 years ago, so it's about 45 degrees. The wind's still blowing around. Looking and I'd asked the you don't really want to water. I'm inside of the building, I see somebody there fishing in the water. I'm thinking, okay, so I went over there. I got in there, training out the he didn't be like drumming or chanting or something. That was very low key. Finally took was around at me. He didn't really acknowledge me, but once I was fishing, so I walked up a little nearer. That's not pretty away from that. I was concerned about it. He looks around at me and he looks at me like past almost through me. He looks at me. And I'm like, I feel like looking at the inside of the mountain. It's a little like, I'm not quite sure what to see. And also, compression sound of an actual vehicle as somehow this see your black triangle. You can see black triangle. Major thing was just when I turned around,
all of this inside.
Exactly. So I'm looking up and I'm thinking, what am I looking at here? And the main thing was it wasn't shooting anything on the front. It wasn't, there was nothing. It was like a compression. I almost felt like I was back in the I'm thinking, trying to show me something. And literally, as the vehicle kind of goes down, you just kind of literally just rolls around and back up.
Oh, that's really weird.
Foundation. Welcome to Area 2000. This program.